It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
For me to do better for Mother's Day, for my mum, and for her birthday, I need your help.
Of course.
Because I don't know how to use scissors. I don't know how to glue stuff into a scrapbook. I'm toast. And the girls did such a great job. Will you help me?
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
Hello, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the founder of happyfamilies.com.au and the co-host and parenting expert on the upcoming season 2 of the hit TV show on Channel 9, Parental Guidance. I cannot wait for this show, Kylie. Have you seen the promos?
They're pretty compelling.
Compelling. I feel like I need to go into the more kind of. It's just such great TV. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that one today as much as I wish we could today. It's I'll Do Better Tomorrow. If you're new to the Happy Families podcast, welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. What happens every Friday is Kylie and I review the week that was, and we try to find areas that we either nailed so that we can celebrate them, or areas that you might say we failed, so that we can do better tomorrow. And Kylie, I think that we're probably both going to talk about the same thing, and that is Mother's Day. Is that where you're heading?
Possibly.
Okay, so obviously, for those of you who missed it, 5-6 days ago now, we had Mother's Day in Australia. I think Mother's Day is the same around the world. I listened to a fascinating podcast just recently. Mother's Day is the invention of florists. There's a lady who has gets the credit for inventing Mother's Day, but basically she was a shill for the florists, and when she realised what the florists had done to her, she tried to get Mother's Day banned. She tried to get United States Congress to cancel Mother's Day. Obviously, it didn't work. The florists won, and well, in protest, I didn't buy you any flowers for Mother's Day.
You didn't. I was feeling really hard done by,
Does that mean I'm a bad husband? Do I need to do better next Mother's Day?
No, just get me some this week when they're cheaper.
That's right.
And honestly, who decided that carnations were...
Well, it was the florists, and it was back... So here's the thing. The reason Mother's Day is when it is, as I understand from this podcast that I listen to, is that at the end of spring, as America is going into its summer, because, I mean, like we're in mid to late May now, so we've only got June, and then it's July. That's the American summer. And so the American florists were basically saying, we have all of these flowers and we can't get rid of them.
They're not getting rid of them because they're the ugly flowers. I literally went to buy flowers for my mum, and I was like, why is it that on Mother's Day they pull out all the ugly flowers?
Every carnation lover.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Maybe it's because in Australia it's just not the right season. I don't know. But anyway, the idea from the American podcast that I listened to...
It's like we don't have taste or something.
...was that florists wanted to unload all of their flowers before summer hits, and this was the time that worked best for them to have the bountiest harvest and make the moolah. That's why. And so I won't buy flowers at Valentine's, and I won't buy flowers at Mother's Day because I'm too cheap.
Well, I completely agree because I thought it was ridiculous the amount of money that they charge for
like
ugly flowers.
Dodged a bullet. All right, so Mother's Day. This is my quick story, and then I want to launch into your experience with Mother's Day, and it's as follows. So I've been away a lot lately, and I was in Perth all week last week. Had a great time across there, but I contacted a couple of the kids and said, guys, just a quick reminder, it's Mother's Day. Mum is your mum, not mine. Therefore, it's Mother's Day. The responsibility falls on you, not me. I mean, these kids they're grown-ups now, or they're well into their teens. They shouldn't need my input. So I gave them fair warning, gave them reminders. I said, hey, if you need me to spot you some cash, I can even help you out with that. But you make sure that Mum feels good on Mother's Day. And when I got home from Perth on Friday of last week, this time a week ago, I snuck a couple of seconds with each of the kids and said, what have you done for Mother's Day? And you know what they said?
Nothing.
Nothing. They said nothing. I was like, I'm trying to be the parenting expert here. I've just had a week away telling everyone how to have a happy family, and we're about to not have a happy family. Like, there's no one more important in the world than you. And I just couldn't believe it. So I said, well, you need to pull your finger out. Something has to be done. And all day Saturday, they went crazy with craft. They came up with an idea. I bought one of those books that has all of those questions, and it's actually a book for lovers. It's a book for me to fill in for you. Which
are you going to do that?
maybe for your birthday. I think that gives me enough time. I need another few months to get it done. But there's all these questions in there, and some of them are really, really fun questions. And I thought, I think that if I use these questions as prompts, the kids can answer those questions in the scrapbooking book, print up a whole lot of photos off their phones at Kmart or whatever it is that they go and do that. And honestly, Kylie, the 4 kids who were at home sat down and did almost nothing but craft for like a day and a half. They stayed up late doing craft. I think that they did an extraordinary job. They really put together a great Mother's Day thing. So I'm kind of going, look at me go. I was the good dad. I was persistent but not harsh. I gave them the reminders, and in the end, I had faith in their ability to pull it off. And I'm just going to say, I reckon they nailed it.
Well, I guess there's 2 sides to this coin, because I knew that nothing had been done.
Right.
And
did you give them a hard time? Were you like, hey, it's Mother's Day on Sunday.
No,
do something for me? No?
I did not.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden there was this mad dash to the finish line to try and create something that would be meaningful. I pretty much was banished to my room. I really wasn't allowed out. And I actually really enjoy surprises. When I was a little kid, I used to destroy all of my surprises because I'd find Mum's stash of, presents, and would be very, very wonderfully sneaky and find out exactly what was coming my way before it came. And over the years, obviously recognised it just completely destroyed the whole surprise. So even when I know things are in the works, I try really hard to turn a blind eye.
I'm just listening to you like that kid that's like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to, but I've just got to peek. I've got to peek.
And so I didn't. I had no, I knew there was some kind of craft going on, but I had no idea what was happening. And come Sunday morning, they'd even told you that you needed to take me for a walk because there was no way in the world they were going to have it finished on time. And so the grumpy side of me could be like, why did you leave it to the last minute? Why was this not done weeks ago?
In fairness, we were away on holidays, and then I've been non-stop with the book launch and with travel and all those commitments. But I did give them fair warning. This is totally on them. But you were patient.
But I was patient, and the payoff was just phenomenal. I think after 24 years of mothering,
yes,
this year, my kids just knocked it out.
Hang on. My kids?
Well, it's Mother's Day. They're mine.
Hang on. Our kids. Come on, please. Are you going to share some of the joy?
Well, so they put together this little scrapbook, and
with a whole lot of photos and a whole lot of great questions. And we got all the kids, even our daughter who's in England. We got her. She responded so quickly with all of her answers. So we got everybody. And
what touched me was actually not that the answers were perfect. They weren't necessarily particularly soppy or in some cases not even heartfelt, but each of their personalities shone through, and it was like having a conversation with them, and I was just blown away. So one of the questions was, how much ransom money would you pay to get me back? And
great question. I love that one.
My 19-year-old,
our 19-year-old, because she's ours,
said, I would pay this much ransom money to get you back, exactly $9,423, because that's exactly what's in her bank account right now. She said, you always told me not to go into debt unless it's for a house.
She's a crack up.
But what I love about that is that while $9,000 isn't a lot of money, it's all she has. And that's really, really beautiful. And then our 9-year-old, she's just got, I can't even count how many zeros after.
She's got a number one.
The number one.
And then about 15 zeros.
And then some of the other things were my favourite part of Mum. This is probably where my heart melted instantly.
Yeah. So in the book, there's a
diagram, I'm assuming.
A diagram of a body, yeah. There's no, it's literally just the outline of a body, and it says, fill in the space here where this is your favourite part of this person. And
so Emily has written, I love all of Mummy. And so she's coloured my whole body in with red. And then again, the 19-year-old, she's actually drawn quite a detailed picture of me, and she's coloured in just above my chest, like between my shoulder and my chest. And she just said, this is the best place to place my head. And she talked about how she loves all of my freckles, and she loves that we have the same broad shoulders. And she said, I used to get made fun of because of how long my neck was, and realised that we both share the same neck. I love our necks. It was just little things like that. She loves that when I'm sitting down and she places her head on my tummy, she can hear all the different gurgles coming out of my
You have a gurgly tummy. I'm telling you now. You have a gurgly tummy.
But then my 12-year-old Lily, she said that she loves my heart because it's so soft and kind and it's never harsh. She loves the amazing things that I say. And she said, your hair is always changing, yet no matter what you do, it always suits you. And just like I said, it's not necessarily that any of some of them were obviously really noteworthy and touching. So one of the really cute pages was how much of my pizza would I give to Mum? And the kids have actually
kids love pizza.
Drawn pizzas, and in some cases they've actually cut out the part that would demonstrate how much they're willing to give me.
And it wasn't much. They're willing to pay a lot for ransom, but they're not willing to share a lot of pizza.
So my 15-year-old's willing to give me 2 pieces of pizza because she's a growing teenager and she gets really hungry.
Just on that, our 15-year-old Annie, there was another question there. I don't remember what it was, but it was something about
how much do you love?
How much do you love me? And
no, sorry, it wasn't. It was what's something that you
something you haven't told
your
to Mum. And she said, I love you more than potatoes.
To anyone reading that would just think, what the heck?
She loves
but
potatoes.
This kid just loves potatoes. And then I've got little 9-year-old Miss Emily, and she's drawn a picture of her pizza, and she's literally given me half of her pizza. But when she talked to me, and I can see it now, I didn't notice at the time, she said, I gave you the biggest half.
Oh.
So it was just all of these little beautiful things, very raw and uniquely them. And it's so funny. It costs them hardly anything, but just a whole heap of time. And it will literally go down in the history books as probably being one of my most thoughtful gifts, whether it be Mother's Day, birthday presents or Christmas. It was just so beautiful. When I said that to the kids, they said, what do you mean? What about when we did your day spa and we flooded the house?
Yeah, that one was memorable too.
I said, that was memorable. That will literally, I don't think you'll ever top that in the memory books.
We'll link to that podcast episode in the show notes in case you missed it. Mother's Day a couple of years ago and the kids forgot to turn the bath off.
But this one, just so thoughtful.
So I'm really glad that you enjoyed that. My I'll Do Better Tomorrow doesn't quite end with me being an awesome dad and getting the kids onto this. My I'll Do Better Tomorrow is actually me as a son. Mother's Day and my mum's birthday were on consecutive days this year, and I rang Mum a couple of days ahead of time and just said, Mum, you're retired, you're comfortable, you kind of got everything you need. I'm walking around the shops and have been for an hour and a half, and I've got nothing. I mean, you don't really need another pair of pajamas, even the bamboo ones. What do I do? And she said, I just want something thoughtful, something from your heart. And I said, okay, well, I've been on holidays, I've been traveling, we've had the book launch, there's so much going on. I need to ask for a little bit of leeway, I need a bit of grace, and in a couple of weeks' time, I'll get you a Mother's Day and birthday present. So long as I can have a bit of time to pull it together. And she said, that's fine. I just want to know that you've thought of me. And I said, you betcha. I'm thinking of you. I'm dying as I walk around the shops. I hate the shops, right? I'm dying as I walk around the shops. And so what I have decided is that I'm going to do the same thing.
You can't tell her.
She's not going to be listening to the podcast. Mum doesn't listen to the podcast, I hope. I'm going to do the same thing. But here's the thing. For me to do better for Mother's Day, for my mum, and for her birthday, I need your help. Because I don't know how to use scissors. I don't know how to glue stuff into a scrapbook. I'm toast. And the girls did such a great job. Will you help me? Really?
You're putting me on the spot.
On the podcast, I know.
Sure, I will. She's my mother too.
The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rowland from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. We really hope that you had a special Mother's Day. And if you didn't, we really hope that this has inspired Dad to get his act together for next year so that he can make sure that he does better next Mother's Day. If you'd like more information about making your family happier, we invite you to visit happyfamilies.com.au or check us out at our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families.